how would you define what is anti-Semitism and how does it differ, let's say, from other forms of hate?
It's a very powerful question.
Yeah.
And I think anti-Semitism, is we have a great maybe it's sad to say, but we have a great advantage. What do they say? Hindsight is 2020. Jews have been around for 3,700 years approximately since the first Jew Abraham, and anti-Semitism has been there from day one or almost from day one. So we have so much experience with anti-Semitism. And when you have so much experience with anti-Semitism, there's a lot of wisdom there, a lot of pain, but also a lot of wisdom. So anyone who ever thinks about, discusses anti-Semitism, it's always so important to be able to have perspective. We literally have 2020 vision of hindsight of almost 4,000 years of a people that almost hasn't had a day of peace and serenity and tranquility. So there's so much to learn from that, and any healthy approach would really need to take in all of our history into context. So, one of the most important things about anti-Semitism is that it's never about what Jews do and
Mm.
don't do. It's been around literally for thousands of years in countries that even never saw they never even saw Jews, right?
Right.
People who never even had interactions with Jews, and yet the anti-Semitism is so deep and so profound. Another fascinating thing is that it spans cultures, religions, philosophies, secular cultures, religious cultures from all types and shapes. And it tells you something so, so profound. And
Mm.
really, there's only two ways to look at it. Either Jews are such a heinous, evil, disgusting, abominable nation, vermin of the earth, bacteria of society, the cancerous tumors that will destroy all of human civilization. And therefore, the hatred is so justified and it should be pervasive and it should
Mm.
continue for eternity as long as there's even one Jew alive. That's one perspective. And then there's, of course, the antithetical perspective, and that is, wow, what is
Yeah.
this about the Jewish people? What is this energy that they bring into the world that has triggered and continues to trigger millions, billions, and billions of people for thousands of years across cultures and countries and civilizations and empires from all types and walks of life? It's like, wow, wow, I
Mm.
really want to learn about this. And sadly to say, Jews who are not anchored in a healthy and powerful Jewish perspective, naturally, and I say this without judgment, can easily gravitate to the other perspective. It's like, what are we doing so wrong
Mm.
that it's triggering this? And I get it, because if, as I once said in a lecture, if my child is being expelled from every single classroom, every single school, by every single principal and teacher, even schools that are known to be good schools, nice schools, good principals, suddenly they say, you know what, maybe your kid has the problem. So Jews look at themselves and they say, we have been expelled literally from almost any country we lived in. You could count on one hand the number of countries that have not expelled Jews, and that includes New Zealand, Australia, and maybe
Mm.
another two or three, including the United States of America, although we came close. So that's a tremendous blessing, in America. But when you look at it, it's like that. Why did everybody expel us? What
Mm.
is it? My nose? Is it
Mm.
our wealth? Is it our poverty? Is it our religion? There must be something so despicable. And that's a perspective that I get. And
Right.
sadly, unconsciously, many Jews internalize this.
Mm.
And the only remedy is to really understand anti-Semitism from a true, deep Jewish perspective, which is a very spiritual perspective. And you have to come to terms with very profound truths about the Jewish people that are uncomfortable for many Jews.